The 2026 FIFA World Cup meal at McDonald's is underway with one of 9 legendary cups in the lineup. Christian Pulisic, David Beckham, Lamine Yamal, Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, Son Heung-min, Alphonso Davies, Santi Jimenez. And between the posts, it's Grimace. Get one of 9 collectible cups with a FIFA World Cup meal. At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last. All rights reserved. 2026 McDonald's at FIFA World Cup 2026.
This episode is brought to you by Prime. What if you had one more chance with the one that got away?
Sam, you came home.
Based on the best-selling novel from Carly Fortune. Every Year After follows childhood friends Sam and Percy as they reunite in the dreamy, nostalgic lakeside town of Barry's Bay.
Love can be hard to find. So if you're lucky enough to find that person, never let go.
A second chance at first love. Every Year After, now streaming only on Prime.
Your LinkedIn feed can give you daily insights from your professional community. It cannot keep you updated on the daily office gossip.
Oh my gosh, no way.
It can help you stay informed on the latest news and trends in your industry. It cannot stop your boss from trying to start a new office trend. Who's ready for Flip-Flop Fridays? And while we can't stop all of the office jargon...
Does this fight with our collaborative lattice work metric?
LinkedIn can start taking your career to new heights. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
You have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
Hi, Dumpster Divas. Welcome back to another episode of Dumpster Dive, a reality TV deep dive with me, Tom Hamlet. And to join me to dive into what we thought was going to be kind of a recap of all of Summer House this season ended up being a whole new surprise episode, The Aftermath. I am joined by Gibson from Gabbing with Gib. Make sure to follow Gabbing with Gib everywhere podcasts are heard. Gibson is gabbing with every Bravo Leb you want to hear their takes on. So I'm happy to have Gibson here on the pod to hear all your thoughts on Summer House. Welcome back.
I love being in the dumpster with you. It's the best.
I know, you're the best. Of course. I know. I feel like it has been a second, bizarrely, but I don't know when the last time was.
But I don't remember either, but like you've been on my show, I've been on your show. It's you're one of the best. I love chatting with you.
You too. And you're always out and about in the city, like always. Y'all, Gibson is hard to track down. My couple things.
I'm on
Gibson.
the streets.
He's always at a wedding, baby. He's at a wedding, and it's usually not in the United States of America. And then out in these streets with Mother Hubbard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
who's on my podcast tomorrow, by the way.
Well, plug. There we go. Plug.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. I mean, like, I feel like, the girls that get it with her, like, have always been, she's the star for reality TV, but it feels like society as a whole has finally embraced her as this, like, reality superstar. And honestly, Bravo, I don't know that Bravo also was always like all in on her until kind of recently.
I think that it was kind of this like kind of perfect storm of like, I think people and maybe culture was more ready for somebody like her and like appreciate sort of the work of like a true pro reality star. And I also think that she became a mother and she maneuvered a little bit differently in the world in a way that I think like really, I love seeing some of those changes in her. And so I think that those two things converged, I think, at like a really good time for her. And it was also at a time when the show like needed people, some of them are outgrowing the show. So they needed another show to be on. And so I think that those three factors like it was kind of perfect timing. I mean, I still think it's crazy how this scandal blew up at the perfect time, to be honest. Like, or quote unquote perfect, just because it's season 10. It's when the spinoff's starting. It's, it's the main couple. It's like some of this stuff is just crazy timing. So I agree with you about Lindsay. And again, if you get it, you get it. And I think we've been getting it for longer than maybe others have, which is,
Yeah,
whatever.
I totally agree. I also think there is a times are changing a little bit in the type of reality TV that is the most popular on Bravo. Well, Housewives will always be, a mainstay. I do think I call them the JV class just because it makes more sense, but like they're really coming into their own as like premier programming. I think a lot of people are really interested in like younger people, where before we were a little bit more interested in older storylines like Southern Charm, Vanderpump Rules, Summer House. These
The
shows are
Valley.
really, really The Valley and Love Island sort of as well in this conversation. Like people are really rabid for these like younger blood shows. And I don't know what that is.
I think it really is like the relatability and the feeling that like you kind of could have like a 1 degree of separation or 2 degree of separation from anybody in that world. And like
Hmm.
they are going through some of the same things that we're going through, or like, have a friend who's doing that. It does feel like much more, it doesn't feel as like out of reach, I think. And I think that is part, I think there's a big parasocial part of this Summer House scandal that's kind of unexplored. Um, but especially in New York, if you live here. But I totally agree. I think that like as Vanderpump, I think it's post scandal. I think without Vanderpump in the sort of ecosystem, people were looking for something else, and Summer House is coming into its own in the past. I mean, I think it's gotten pretty much better every single season, but the past 3 years, I think it's been especially sort of powerful. So yeah, it's like it's kind of wild to think about because nobody cared about this show for like
No, y'all, no one
until the
watched it.
pandemic, essentially, and like which is pretty crazy.
But
And I think it's
even
like it
then,
just
not that many people were still
no,
watching
no.
it,
I think that it was like the pandemic season was really good. And the pandemic was like when people famously caught up on Potomac. They caught up on Summer House. They were looking for shows to watch. But like,
Mhm.
some of us have been here. We've been
In
in
the
the trenches.
trenches with the Workus twins.
Yes. Yes.
Um, well, let's get into
Dodging
the
watermelons.
aftermath. I know, right? Throwing watermelons. Let's get into the aftermath of it all. So,
Yeah.
guys, this dropped last night. It is a kind of it's a very interesting setup.
Hmm.
It's three different interviews with Lindsay. We have Lindsay and Amanda. We have Kyle and West, and then we have Miha and Sierra. Let's start with the Lindsay and
Hmm.
Amanda block. I think this is probably the most interesting one because Lindsay
Definitely.
is a great foil for the audience. Like she really knows how to ask the right questions. Uh, Amanda, this whole timeline of it all is very bizarre too because this sit down was very emotional. Lindsay was very honest with her, and then Amanda goes off on a Italian getaway and family wedding, I guess, with West right after. What are your thoughts on watching this and then knowing kind of where we're at still in current time?
Yeah, it's I actually do think that it's so weird with Amanda because I do think that she was partially telling the truth about a lot of like some of how things actually happen between her and West. I really do
Hmm.
believe that. But then also like keeping in mind the fact that this entire conversation, she knows she's going to Italy with him and she doesn't mention it. It's like
Right.
it's one of those things again where you sort of like you're sort of back to square one where it's like, yeah, Lindsay's saying all the right things. She's telling you all the hard truths that you've needed to hear. You're saying some of the right things, to be honest, and I understand some of where she's coming from, but like I can't take it completely seriously or like believe it all completely because you're holding back a huge truth that you would get eaten alive for if it was on the show. And so I guess two things can be true at once, but like it really, she should have just come out and said like we have a trip to Italy booked, to be honest. But like she couldn't do that because again, as she said, the reason why she hasn't watched the show still is because she knows how the audience is going to react and what they're already going to say, and she can't get around that. So
Yeah, it's really she is living in this bizarre warped reality. It's really weird seeing her talk. She doesn't even talk that positively about West
No.
in the sit down. She's kind of like, yeah, I'm
She
stuck
laughs
with
at the
this
small dick
guy.
jokes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
One thing I love about Lindsay is like at the end of the day, she delivers like she loves to deliver like a very like base level joke, and like her making
Hmm.
jokes about silent but deadly farts at the reunion. I'm like Lindsay, and then here she's like, and he has a little wee wee, and I'm like, ooh,
Mm. High
she
and low, baby.
she always is in between high and
Yeah.
low, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
that's what I love about her.
Yeah.
Um, I know, but like I can't. I was hoping that we would get, a little intel on why, and we got a little bit of it. We did get her saying that like she felt alive being with Wes. She felt like
Hmm.
she had found like a new friend group, and then that was something that had really kind of kept her going through a really dark period of her life. But what's interesting about that is that I don't think she sees the other side of it, which is that
Hmm.
that's really just love bombing, right? Like
Yeah.
isolating and making you feel seen, making you feel, but keeping you from all of your friends, keeping you from all of that's really, I don't know that that's necessarily healthy.
Well, it's also just like, again, there is, as Lindsay said in that conversation, there is validity in Amanda finally feeling like she's being young and fun and she's kind of making up for lost time that she wasn't going out during her marriage and she wasn't really spending time with her friends and she felt more herself. There's a lot of validity in that, 100%. But like the implication, one, that she could only find that with Wes and his friends is incorrect. And two, it also doesn't excuse the decision that she made, which was to pursue a romantic relationship with West. Like she could have easily like gone out with a bunch of girlfriends, gone out with Sierra, who was trying to go out with her, and Mia were trying to get her to go to
Yeah.
drinks in the winter. Like there were other avenues for her to feel this same feeling of, oh my God, like I'm free from the shackles of my terrible marriage. I'm single. I'm gonna date. There were other ways for her to scratch that itch. She just scratched the single wrong one that she shouldn't have scratched,
Yeah.
and like, and as she did admit, she was like, I needed the validity of a man. I needed the validation. I needed to feel loved. And again, in the core there, I understand, but again, Wes is the one person she shouldn't have sought that out from. And so it's like she was shooting herself. She was making the second you think she's making inroads, you're like, well, fuck, you did it with the wrong person.
Yeah, I
You did it
know.
the completely wrong way. It's like, ugh.
I know. And also she starts to say that she's saying to Lindsay, and this is kind of a similar scenario to the reunion where I think Amanda and Wes can't totally like get their stories straight. She's saying that Wes came onto her, right? And that it was
Right.
all him. She was just like
Hmm.
a damsel in distress sitting at PJ Clark's with a martini, and he just walked up to her and was like, "Hey baby." Like that's how it all went down. And Lindsay's like, "Well the streets are saying the opposite from West's
Hmm.
mouth." And you can see her just she's pissed, but I also think there's a world in which she just loves his little scampy behavior.
Do you
Like,
think that when she was laughing at that moment, Tom, was she laughing at like the ridiculousness of what Wes was claiming? Was she laughing at like her not believing Lindsay and like Sierra saying this, that Wes was saying this? Like, do you think that she believes that he said that? Like, what's she laughing off there? Do you
I think
think?
she's laughing his behavior that I think
Okay, so
she
she believes
likes,
it.
I think she kind of gets off on the fact that he is
Hmm.
a, like, a different version of Kyle. I think she gets off on the fact that he's like likes to party, that he's a little bit of a hoe. Like I don't know, there's some I think she likes it a little bit, and that
I
he's
think you're
like
right.
can't keep a story straight. Like I think there's something about it that excites her in some weird sick world. Like I think that all the things that for us that would be like cons in the relationship,
Yeah.
I think she almost thinks it's cool.
And she's still choosing her. He's still choosing her,
Right,
right?
right. You're right.
Despite
Like
all of
against
that.
all despite
Yeah.
everything, my man came
Yeah.
back to me.
Beyond.
I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's like how, yeah, you're right. That's how she's thinking.
it's so
And I
bizarre.
guess that explains why she's like, maybe as we're viewing it, talking shit about him or not speaking highly of him, but maybe to her that's like, oh, LOL, like, he's still talking to Miha. He has his small PP, like all these different things. And I'm just like, she knows she should end it with him. She knows that's how the conversation ends. I'm like, girl.
And I do think because it comes up at the end where Lindsay is like, you need to be dating. Like, you need to be out in these streets, like actually just like having fun. I honestly think this is her version of that. I think she thinks this is what she's doing, like just having fun, because I don't think she's taking her situation with West that incredibly seriously. I think she's honest with him about her timeline, about, wanting to have kids, wanting to do this. But I do think she thinks this on paper was supposed to just be this fun, like, love affair.
I think that they weren't ever, or they weren't anytime soon going to even come public with it or be serious with each other. They felt their hand was forced because there was evidence of them hooking up. And so that's why we're in this situation. I agree with you. I think that she was like, yeah, let me sleep around with West and like see what, like, but then I think things escalated sort of out of their control as a result of their decision to jump into this. People had their eye on them, but like, I agree. I don't think that either of them intended for them to be in this situation right now, in terms of like having to talk about fucking having kids with each other and like trying to like put up these airs of like, yeah, we're really serious about each other. This is end game. Like, who are we fooling? You're having kids with Wes Wilson? Come on, get a life. Like, he's going to be a terrible father. Like, can you imagine Wes trying to be supportive once you actually are like pregnant? And like, he's just so clearly not there in his life. He's so clearly not there as a person. Like, with him saying that jumping ahead, but him saying to Kyle that he was like ready to commit to Amanda, like, fuck off.
You say that to everyone. You've said that to Sierra. You've said that to Miha. You've said that to every girl in every state that you've hooked up with. Like, that's just part of your script. And then Lindsay brings up that she says, that Wes was on the phone with Miha this morning, obviously talking about the fact that they were filming scenes for the show. I assume that that's probably why they were talking that day, at least. And that he also had sex with Miha in March, which is essentially cheating on Amanda. And she kind of receives all this information very just kind of like, yeah, it is what it is. It's crazy that she feels that way when, this is my big problem with the reunion, is that all the things that West has done and is doing is exactly the reasons that she couldn't commit to emotionally, like, committing to Kyle. Like, the cheating weighed on Kyle and Amanda's marriage forever. The partying weighed on that marriage forever. And then she comes and starts dating this guy who's cheated on her in the first month of being together and is like a party animal.
This episode is brought to you by Tidy Cats, here to level up your litter game with their new Performance Plus lineup. Your home is your happy place, your cats VIPs. So when it comes to the litter box, excellence isn't optional. Choose from products that specialize in max power clumping, low tracking, or odor fighting so advanced, stink won't see it coming. Tidy Cats Performance Plus. Mission mighty, keep it tidy. Shop now at tidycats.com.
Do you hear that? Sounds like breakfast is ready. Because Quaker's coming in hot with morning nutrition. 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber to fuel the rhythm of your morning and kickstart your day. And that sounds absolutely delicious. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. Earn 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, apply to find out your welcome offer, which could be as high as 300,000 membership rewards points. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Welcome offers vary, and you may not be eligible for an offer. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
At Ollie, we've got wellness down to a science. From PMS to pregnancy to menopause, our women's wellness line offers science-backed support for every stage. No judgment, no shame, none of the stigma. Just supplements designed to meet you wherever you're at. Ollie, choose science over shame. Find support at a retailer near you or on ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
Yeah, I feel like she's putting on a face of being by being not affected by that information about West and Miha. I think it probably is affecting her more than she's putting on. She's just trying to put on a brave face, kind of. That's my read on that. I think that there is a part of her that has to accept that like there is overlap between him and Miha. He was lying about this like year plus relationship with somebody that he's known since like college or something. So like I think part of her knows she has to accept part of that because it is like a messy overlap in so many different ways. But she's just accepting such poor treatment that like so many other people, I mean, watching it, it's like, girl, like, why are you putting up with this again in a new relationship? And it just feels so like blatant. But I do think it's affecting her more than she's letting on.
Yeah, I agree. And then wait, let's see, imagine. Oh, the last line that Lindsay delivered, which was great. She said, imagine fucking up so bad that we forgot how terrible Kyle was as a husband. And it's like, yeah, that's the kind of sentiment online. That is a bar. Online Kyle has this hero edit, and we just got to always remind us. We got to remind everyone that he was a terrible husband. He may be light and free and fun, like out in the real world, and like he's fun to hang out with and all those things, but like in the confines of the relationship that with Amanda, it was not good. And we can't. Multiple things can be true. He can be a fun guy, but like he needs to reassess how he talks and treats the romantic partners in his life. Definitely.
And like there was a really good interview, I think, with Variety with a Bravo exec about this episode after that was published last night. And like he was talking about how like it sounds like everybody at Bravo, Kyle, execs, producers, the cast were like prepared for Kyle to be just like potentially like not even on the show going forward because of how bad Summer House is going to be for him. Yeah. And like it is wild how much of that behavior is just sort of being forgotten about or skated over. It's like this is low-key like the worst thing and the best thing that ever happened to him in terms of like,
oh yeah, I think best. I actually don't think there's a lot of worse in it. The bad.
I think on a personal basis it's bad in terms of the hurt that he feels from it, but like in terms of public facing, and his public image, like it's the best thing. Yeah.
I mean, more people are. Loverboy is making money. More people are watching in the city, which I like in the city, but I have to imagine not that many people would have been watching it if it weren't for everything that's going down. Like I just don't think that it would have had the same amount of energy behind it. Like everything is working out because of all this, so it's crazy. It is really wild to see.
It is
how everything flipped. But the next scene we get, speaking of Kyle, is West and Kyle, and the dog of it all really threw a wrench in it. That dog knows
he knew West, or she knew West. Yeah,
that's upsetting. Yeah, if my dog went up to someone who I thought was like a light mutual friend and was like, "Oh my God, so good to see you," I would be so angry.
That's really hard, and you just like your mind goes crazy. And then also Kyle being like, "Have you been here before?" And that was kind of a light, like, have you hooked up with Amanda here? You know what I mean?
Which would be weird,
because Kyle knows that he's never brought West probably to his apartment to hang out,
right?
Because he was always hanging out elsewhere. And so I think that was sort of a test. Did Amanda sneak you in once? That was kind of the writing on the wall there.
I know. I wonder if there was any sneaking. I mean, allegedly their timeline didn't start until after after they weren't living together anymore. But your mind obviously goes places. No, I wrote in my notes that the dog would be my 13th reason.
Yeah, that's really that pushes you over the ledge. Yes,
that would really wreck me. I don't fuck with my baby, with my dog. It's interesting, right at the top of this, Wes says that his time on camera is over. I'm curious to understand when this whole. So, guys, this article in was it People or no Us Weekly dropped yesterday, where Wes has obviously been. It's come out that he's no longer going to be on Bravo, and part of the reasoning from a secondary source was that he allegedly tried to get Kyle, Carl, and Lindsay fired from the show and kind of center the show around West, Amanda, Jesse, and like their friend group. And I'm curious to understand when that happened, because by the time he's sitting down for this, which is about a month ago, he's already using the sentence like, my time on camera is over.
My impression of that claim is that it was sort of before all the scandal. I think that he kind of viewed, I mean, the plan was for them to all sort of graduate into in the city anyway. And so like my view on it is that he wanted to like sort of make sure that like that they were not going to like be popping up on Summer House, like that's going to be his domain going forward.
Yeah.
You know, I did view it as like the next big three were going to be West, Jesse, and Sierra. Like that's kind of what I figured the plan was. So it's not like that far fetched that like he would want the show to be sort of centered on him. It's very self-serving, but like it sounds like behind the scenes he was kind of being a little more intense about it, and like, you know, making comments about when Lindsay was pregnant that she shouldn't come back to the show, and it just, and then what was the other narrative that like he was already 1 foot out. He was already sort of done with his time on the show. Like that's such bullshit. Are you kidding me? Like he was so ready for his time in like the firmly in the spotlight for next season. Like that's so crazy. Like that's so not believable.
No, he's obsessed with the show. He's obsessed with.
He's obsessed with the show. And somebody pointed out, like Amanda in this conversation with Lindsay is talking about friendship and West and their relationship. Wes is talking about a lot about the show.
Yeah, he starts to psychoanalyze his reunion performance, and I want to be like, Diva, in the end of the day, you are just not good at reality television. Like Lindsay isn't like sitting there in Tribeca talking to Amanda about how they performed at the reunion. Like this is not what the show is about. The show isn't about like, we break the fourth wall sometimes, but the reason the Aftermath episode was filmed was because we want to learn about this relationship.
But he's been like this since the beginning. It goes back to that comment that Paige made to him at the reunion, his first reunion, where she's like, you know, here we are having this crazy season where two people are having the worst summer of their lives, Lindsay and Carl, in their breakup, and you're texting the group, this is the best season ever. Like this is so good. Like it was always about the show for him. It was never about, I mean, he's hiding in a whole relationship. That's something that none of them have ever done. You know, like it's like Kyle's pointing that out. Like that's not how the show operates. That's actually what sets Summer House apart, is that they don't do stuff like that usually. Like that's not, there's not that much fakery in this group. Like that's not how the show is set up from its origins. And so he comes in as an operator, social climber, wanting to be a star, and it was never going to gel long term. Now we're realizing, you know, he pulled the wool over a lot of people's eyes.
I mean, mine included.
Me too.
A lot of us really fell for it.
Yeah.
I interviewed him on the show. I'll always bring it up, and he was he was like delightful. And then
I mean that's how he is. That's how he is surface level. He's a delightful guy in that way.
Yeah,
that's how he gets everybody into his orbit.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So this Wes 13th reason was that seeing the video of Kyle posting of all the boys playing basketball in the pool. I'm like, this is what straight men are unwell. Straight men are not well. Unwell. The video of you drunkenly just throwing basketballs at each other's heads in the middle of the pool in the Hamptons at 3 a.m. was what made you be like, maybe I did fuck up my life. Like, what the hell are we talking about?
It's like, it's also just like, people have said it in so many different ways, but it's like it's taken so long and so much effort from other people to show them that this affected more than just them, Sierra and Kyle. Like it's like it goes so far beyond them, and even just thinking about Kyle and Sierra, it's like, you didn't think about two of your best friends. We still haven't gotten an answer as to why they didn't think about them. I will never understand. I will never.
No,
Never.
the fact that he didn't say like seeing Sierra upset made me realize like that is the answer.
Neither of them
Like I
said
know
that.
that's
Yeah.
but he would never say that because he holds so much resentment towards that woman, and
1,000%.
it's so bizarre. And yeah, Wes essentially owns up to lying to everyone, and Kyle just drops that him and Amanda were supposed to do a podcast together,
I
and then
think it
they
was
backed
just
out.
Amanda.
Or just Amanda.
I think it was
Do you
just
think it was
Amanda.
Call Her Daddy or Via File? So it has to be one or the other.
It was neither of those two.
Oh, really? You know, whose was it? You know?
I'm not going to say who it was, but it wasn't those two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
Well,
it's, I
actually,
mean, she
that
was getting
makes
on he said she was getting on a plane. So
Sheena.
not in New York, but
Sheena
like,
Shea. Sheena Shea.
no way. No. But like, but
Amy
even then
Poehler.
it's like,
Michelle
but even
Obama.
then, for me, it's like, it's so indicative of like Wes is not thinking about Amanda in that way. Like Kyle's still the one who's looking after her in like a bigger picture way. And like,
Yeah.
what are the smart decisions to make here?
Right.
And like Wes doesn't think that way. Wes is probably like, yeah, go girl, go talk on a podcast and you know, win people over. It's like that's not gonna win anybody over. Complete wrong time, too soon, not gonna land. And Kyle knows that. And he's actually it's interesting like the ways at which Kyle's still able to get through to Amanda and which ways he's not.
Yeah.
But he clearly got through to her on that. But that would have not gone over well for her. So I'm glad that Kyle did get through to her on that.
Yeah, it's tough. And then also Wes revealing that he also hasn't been watching the show either, which makes me clear now it becomes clear to me that it was like a decision the two of them probably made. I feel like they both were like living in just bliss of like their couple, and
Yeah.
I just don't think they had any energy to watch back the behavior of the show, and they were just going to start this new storyline for themselves. I think it's weird to not at least watch the big moments before a reunion. Like I'm not going to say
Crazy. Are you
I'm not
kidding?
going to say you should watch every frame and be fined if you don't watch it. I think you should, but like some people
that narrative is very not in tune with the history of Bravo. Plenty of people over the years have not watched their episodes. That's not a fireable offense. It's
No.
offensive and it's insulting, but like it's not a fireable offense. Like let's be clear about that. Come on.
No, but you do need to see things.
I
Like
agree.
you do
I totally
need
agree.
to see how you are handsy with Amanda. Like Amanda needs to see that because part of me thinks that they just didn't even realize that this is what they were doing. And that's not me putting sympathy on them. It's more just saying like they push emotional cheating boundaries a lot. And I think that they weren't totally conscious of like how apparent their love was on camera.
Yeah, I think that they clearly have no idea like the different breadcrumbs and teasers that the editors picked up on and were able to insert into the show. I mean, Amanda herself said like allegedly she blacks out when she gets yelled at. She blocks things out when things happen. Like so, it's like they apparently might not even remember a lot of this stuff. And so, yeah, that's part of the benefit of being able to rewatch a show is that you're reminded of things that you did and said. And it's just such a fuck you to everybody that they still haven't watched the episodes, neither of them. Like you're getting this, what some people view, I don't view it as like a redemption arc or sort of a second chance. I don't view it as that. But like people are viewing it as this is, you could take that moment and you could prepare and you could watch and you could really understand. Neither of them did that.
No.
So it's just sort of like, what are we doing here?
I know. Like it's not like Teresa who never watches her shows, but then like some seasons there's not even like that much going on. So like it's like at least watch this season. If nothing else, you know what I mean? Like this season should be viewed because you have to answer questions. It's crazy to sit down at a reunion where you know you're going to be in the hot seat and not be prepared to answer what
it's crazy.
you did on camera.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It just shows they don't really care. They don't care.
No, they don't.
And it's very short-sighted. It's very short-sighted.
Miha comes up and we start talking about kind of this timeline, and I mean, he essentially is like, yeah, I told her we were exclusive, but we weren't, in so many words. Um, and he's still saying more here than he did at the reunion stage, but it's still kind of confusing. And Kyle took to the internet today and was like, he was giving a lot of word salad the whole interview. Like it didn't feel like anything was actually being really said.
Mm-hmm.
But it's wild to see him just sit there and be like, yeah, I had a girlfriend. And then we get this clip package of him kind of negating, like trying to navigate around the questions about Miha. Jesse asks Wes on camera while they're getting ready, like, how is Miha? And he's like, he says something like, I wouldn't know,
she's probably good.
Oh, she's probably good. As if like wording it like they haven't talked, even though we know that
she's at his apartment that weekend.
It's insane, right? Like
it's insane. It's diabolical. It's so intentional too. That's the thing. It's like so thought through that like he is hiding this from everybody, even Jesse. It sounds like it's really it's crazy.
We'll talk about back to what we were saying before, right? About how he was saying in that people or Us Weekly article that, you know, his foot was already out the door. If your foot was already out the door, then why were you hiding a girlfriend? Because you were scared it would get you fired from the show.
There we go.
Think that makes any sense.
Bullseye right there. Those two things cannot coexist. Those are directly antithetical to each other. Like he wanted this as his career, which is great, but like you were fibbing everybody this whole time. Like again, like we're not stupid. Like we know that you were into this and you wanted this, and it's really insulting.
It is insulting to our integrity. We watch these shows like they're real, and you're making us look dumb as hell, Wes. Kyle asked if he has said that he loves Amanda to Amanda. He essentially is like, I do think this conversation is weird in life in general, because like you love your friends and you say I love you to your friends, but then once it becomes romantic, it's like, oh, I can't say that. I'm team like, if you just love people, you just love people. I think it's different to say I love you than it is to say like I am in love with you, you know? I think that's different, but I understand that it's kind of weird because I think he has always loved Amanda because he loves this friend group. But
they all love each other.
But I do think that the in love conversation, I think he is falling for her, but part of me thinks it's just because it's the scenario, you know, the chase, the scandal of it all.
I think that him bringing up, like when Kyle asked that, when him bringing up like, oh, I said I love you to her in August. Yeah, like that was as a friend, you know,
Right.
Like that
It's
wasn't, that was such a redirect from him because either he wants to show that he's always cared for her, or also that like he's not ready to say that. He's not ready to say I love you in a romantic way to her yet, because maybe he's not there. But he has to show Kyle that he does care for his estranged wife, who he is trying to set up apparently a future with. So he's trying to like kind of have his cake and eat it too with the way that he answers that question, but it lands in a really sort of like muddied way, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this is his last time on camera for a while, at least. I could see him crawling back onto our screens in
Me too.
Traders. I could see him coming back onto In the City in a couple seasons if everyone's still there. Like he's a cockroach. He's gonna find his way back on camera somehow, and he's also a white straight guy. Like he will be fine. I'm really not worried about his future.
Yeah, I think that like it's hard to envision that in sort of the heat of this storm right now, in the eye of the storm right now. But like, I agree that, you know, once another scandal pops up, once the show sort of, you know, rearranges itself after this next season and the city continues, like I could see in 2-3 years a space opening up for him somewhere. You know, I don't really need that, but I could see that happening for sure.
The space that it does not need to be is a Summer House recap podcast. I do not want that to happen, and it frightens me to my core that he is going to launch some sort of like rewatch show where he like watches back like old seasons or tries to monetize on the show that he was on. He's already talking about the show so much on that basketball podcast. I'm like, that
Well, he's
shows
doing that
that
because he knew he was getting fired. That's why he's doing that.
I know, but it is laying right there. Like, he could talk about the show and probably people would listen. It's just
Again, that's being
happen.
short-sighted. These people are no, more of these people need to think long term. You know, if he starts a Summer House rewatch podcast or like starts recapping the show on his podcast, that is also kind of a death knell for him in terms of being asked back ever in the future. I think like it's like
that's true.
He needs to if he wants any future on this in this ecosystem, which we know he does. He's got to step away. He's got to do whatever he needs to do with Amanda and like get off our screens, not talk about the show. That's his best chance, to be honest, if you're thinking like if you're advising him. But like as we know, they're not getting the best advice. Their joint statement being Exhibit A. So
where since this is the end of Wes and Amanda's parts of this aftermath, how long do you give them relationship wise?
It's so hard to tell because in like a vacuum, I'm like, yeah, like they're not lasting very much longer at all. But like, will they push through and continue even when they shouldn't because they need to show that they gave everything up for something that can last or that's worth it? I don't know. I kind of think they won't last the summer. I kind of give it the summer maybe.
Yeah.
It also depends, honestly, in my mind, how good of a chance maybe there is for her to actually go back to In the City or not. Because I don't think he can be on that show.
Mm-mm.
But if there is some sort of opening for her to maintain one of her jobs, hopefully with some months away, if you're thinking from her perspective, like she can see that like that would be the maybe a smarter decision, but I don't think she's making smart decisions for herself right now, obviously. So I don't know, but that could be a factor sort of towards the end of the summer when they're sort of finalizing a season 2 in the City cast. What do you think?
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Yeah, I actually think it might be sooner than later, to be honest. I think this Aftermath episode airing isn't going to be great for them, even though they won't
don't
watch it. The discourse online will eventually get to them. I mean, it's crazy. Amanda has friends out there. Like, they have to be talking to her. They're watching, and they have to be talking about what's happening. And I pray that someone is trying to get to her and be like, "Hey, this is."
That was what Lindsay was trying to do, though, Tom. It's like Katie DeLuca's not doing it.
Yeah, Katie DeLuca, get up, girl. What are you doing?
Don't you think it's kind of weird that like if Amanda and Wes if they weren't already anything or they weren't that close or whatever, why is he in a group chat with Katie DeLuca and Amanda and her husband? You know, like that to me sort of shows a little bit of closeness. I don't know. Made me think a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what's the tea on Katie, because like
it's giving now why am I in it? You know, it's like she always is getting dragged into things.
Yeah, but she also posts. This is my thing. Is like she doesn't want to be in it, but then she's posting like
I know
about the bun and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, well, girl, like you are kind of in it then. Like,
yeah, I agree. I think at this point, just lean in if you're Katie DeLuca. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And then we wrap up on this Sierra Miha chat. Now, y'all, Miha, here's the thing. I think she had the opportunity to really land the plane here in a really like ferocious way, like Dara did on the reunion stage. Miha's not made for prime time, in my opinion. I don't think she understood the assignment walking into this. Sierra was working overtime to try and like get anywhere in this conversation, and only for Miha to reveal that like she's still in communication with him and they talk on the phone regularly, essentially because Amanda will see a text, doesn't want to screenshot text messages. So it's like you're still doing kind of the same shit that you were doing before.
She's moving weird, I think, and like I
Very.
agree. I was rooting for her, and I still sort of am rooting for her to like get out from under the spell of West Wilson, I guess.
Of
But
course,
like,
yeah.
I mean, talking for 6 hours on the phone, as you said, like hiding it on the phone because he's with Amanda and he's like publicly declared as much. It's there's something off about it, you know, and I don't know if it's like trying to get her lick back or they've been so intertwined for so long that like it's not over an overnight thing for her to like cut off communication with him. That's one thing if you're like sort of texting here and there or like having a phone call here and there. But like it sounds like they're talking very regularly for very long amounts of time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more than just sort of like weaning yourself off. It's
Right.
it's still sort of like it feels like she'd still hook up with him, you know? And like
Yeah.
it felt it didn't land the way I wanted it to land.
No,
The scene with her side of it.
Yeah, I really don't think she understands the amount of like positivity we were all giving her online. Like we really wanted this to work. People
Totally.
were like, I think people were saying it kind of jokingly, but also in seriousness, like, girl, get her on the show. Like, let's get her in. But then seeing this is just like, maybe you are kind of perfect for West in some fucked up world because it doesn't seem to bother you that deeply that you went through all this stuff. If I went through what she went through with him, there'd be no world in which I would be still calling him all the time.
No,
Well,
not
what is
at
there to
all.
say?
And then much less admitting it on your one scene on Summer House. You know, it's like this is your moment. And I don't really know what she was going for. I mean, I guess I appreciate her honesty, but I'm just sort of like, I don't know if I would have admitted that.
I wouldn't have at all. And
Because it kind of felt like it was supposed to be like Sierra and Miha like versus the world, and that's sort of how they ended the scene. But I'm like, I don't know if Miha's fully on board with the like anti-West Wilson train. I don't think she kind of has one foot on either train.
I know. And they talk about so this scene, I guess, was filmed during the Italy trip or after, like sometime during while they were in Italy, because the Italy trip comes up in this conversation, and Mia essentially talks about how I think she was in talks to be the +1 to that wedding, but then it ended up being Amanda. That's the vibe I understood from that, and that too. It's like you seem fine about that. Like it seems like she's not losing that much sleep over the fact that like West has this other girl.
Yeah. But it's this weird thing where she is making reveals about West that make him look bad, like him texting her "you win" after the reunion. But
Mhm.
then she's also sort of giving off this vibe of like I'm not done with him. So it's again, I just don't think she picked a lane. She should have
No.
picked a lane before this. And I feel like going into a scene with Sierra and the interview that I alluded to with the Bravo exec, he said that Sierra wanted to film this scene with Miha before the reunion. They do the reunion where she FaceTimes her. They film that, and then after the reunion, she still wanted to film this scene. This is all Sierra. She was pushing for this behind the scenes, and like because it was supposed to, I think it was supposed to be this like sort of really triumphant sort of he brought us together inadvertently kind of vibe, which like it still had some of that, but then
Little, but
there was this lingering thing where like Miha couldn't fully meet Sierra there. Um,
no, because she was like, "Oh, you still fuck with him."
yeah, and I think what you're right that like Sierra was trying to be like, you know, like look me in the eye right now.
Right.
But yeah, and I don't know. And everyone's been there where it's like there's somebody who you should be not seeing anymore, not talking to. But again, it's like this feels next level from that. You know, it feels like she is loving it still, kind of.
I
Like, what are they talking about
agree.
for 6 hours?
That's crazy.
That's a long time on the phone.
I don't talk to six. I don't talk to my mom for 6 hours. Like,
I
what are
don't
you
like talking on the phone at all.
Yeah, me neither. Text me. I'm like
Yeah,
6 hours.
six
I'm sorry.
hours.
If I was Amanda too, that would piss me off. But
Well,
once again,
I
she's
wonder if she knew about that. I wonder how much of this she knew. That's the
well, she
thing. Like you
didn't.
said,
But today she might.
like she definitely knows now. Um, so I don't know how that's she's finding out about this after she goes to Italy with Wes, probably.
Yeah. My critique of this
Girl.
whole episode, though, Lindsay should have sat down with each of them alone. Like it should have been Lindsay's Frost Nixon hour, where
Yeah,
she just
it's sort
does
of like
these interviews
I
with them because
admire that Kyle was restrained because he could have come in like super activated, and I would have also supported him in that. But like
Mhm.
I kind of get why he didn't go in on Wes. Like as he said on Threads, I think like he was kind of like, "Here's the floor. Like this is your opportunity to explain things to me." And Wes is incapable of doing that unless it's in the safety of his own podcast. So that was never going to work. So I think we learned actually the least from that. At least the Mijas Sierra thing, like it did kind of tell us things, maybe honestly inadvertently, you know.
Mhm.
But I agree. Like there's a reason why the Lindsay Amanda conversation took up sort of the biggest portion of this episode because it was the most substantial. We learned the most from it. Lindsay was asking the important questions and saying the right tough things to Amanda. Whether she heard those things or not, that's besides the point. But I
Mhm.
did think that was by far the strongest part of the episode, for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, what's your like general in the city thoughts? How are you feeling about this season? We're probably about like almost hitting our halfway point with
Yeah,
the cast, I assume. And then there is a reunion coming up. I'm curious to see what you think.
I agree that like Summer House is partially overshadowed in the city, but it's also at the same time fed interest into it. So it's this weird kind of thing. Um, I will say that like this week's episode, learning about sort of the Danielle Amanda sharing a best friend in Katie DeLuca situation and them clearly both sort of like shit talking each other to Katie. It's the classic like childhood best friend versus adulthood best friend and being possessive and protective and competitive over that person. That's a very common dynamic.
Mhm.
That actually was pretty compelling to me because I feel like that's something that was clearly in the background on Summer House when Amanda and Danielle would have issues, but that was never addressed, sort of that extra factor. I thought
Yeah.
that was actually really interesting to me. A couple of the people I don't think are fully popping, and I don't really care about some of their storylines, but it's a first season for Bravo show, so that they can always fine tune the cast. But overall, like, it feels still like an exciting idea that this is a place for people from Summer House to land, and they can still sort of, again, fine tune the cast in a second season. Um, I'm enjoying the vibe. It's much more invigorating than the Valley ever was to me, even though it's about the same sort of cohort in terms of age. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I like it goes down really easy for me. I'm
Yeah,
probably just
totally.
because I love Summer House, so like the characters will always be interesting to
Hmm.
me. I like the background of New York. I think it's a
Me too.
really great. They've
The
done a
production's
great
good.
job. The shout out to production. Like you guys have done a great job of putting this show together and making it feel super kind of identifiable. Something I was chatting about recently was that they're also doing this really interesting editing thing that they're not doing on other shows where they are layering scenes on top of one another. Oftentimes, guys, if you notice like in Bravo shows, it's like this is the scene where we're at dinner, and then this is the scene where we're at drinks, and then this is where this show they're like bopping between like
Right.
Yvonne and her husband chatting, and then we're cutting across town to so
You're
and so
right.
chatting at the same time, and we go back and forth, back
Mhm.
and forth. It's like a new editing thing that I just started noticing that I'm like, oh,
That's a
I
good point.
love this. Like it feels incredibly slick. Like it feels really sharp. It makes the episodes fly. I think that there are some great characters. I think Georgina is hilarious.
She makes
I
me
am
crack up.
I'm assuming you probably know her IRL because
Yeah,
you're
I've
close
no,
with
I've
Lindsay.
yeah, I've hung out with her several times. Yeah, she's like, but like she pops on TV in a different way. Like I think again, the editing, they're pulling out these like incredible little anecdotes about her as a mom. Like every episode of In the City has some
Just like, and my
incredible
kid
sort of
ate shit
from left
today.
field admission from Georgina about being a mom that's like probably so relatable to so many parents. But she's like, yeah, I had to put a chocolate bar in a diaper because my son wanted to still wear his poopy diaper, and I just like let him do that. Like, I don't know if I'm teaching him the wrong thing, but like fuck it. Like that's how I'm getting through the day. I love that energy from her, you know, and she's not trying to paint her life as picture perfect. And despite how successful she is professionally, like she's popping in a way that is really fun to see.
I agree. She's great on this show. I think she's been an absolute delight. I did laugh at this week though with Kenny and this like finding my dad storyline.
It's very classic Bravo, sort of like
it's very like, Melissa Gorga coded. It's very like, today's the day that I find my dad.
After
like
28 years. It's like, I wonder why. Oh, because there's a camera there. Because that. And listen, the idea of him connecting with a long lost father, great. That is
of course
fantastic.
It's great. I'm happy he's doing it,
but like there was something and it was like, oh, they're calling right now. And then like Whitney does the quick little Google search and it's like, oh, is this the guy? You know, he looks like you. It's like, it's very, this is a little clunky to me, I would say.
I co-sign that.
Yeah.
He's new to reality TV. I do think that
he's a good person on the show, though.
Potential, though, yeah, because he's got a good villain energy to him.
Mm-hmm.
That works. I also really like Gavin. I think Gavin has a good energy on the show. He hasn't been featured as much. And then I'm curious about when Katie DeLuca comes into the mix, because she is talked about, but she's not on the show really yet at all.
Yeah, she's a friend of her husband's not on the show.
Okay.
I think that maybe is impacting maybe why she's not around as much. Yeah, I mean, they were talking about her. I don't know why she's not on that trolley with them.
Yeah, she has a photo. She has like a cast photo, guys, on the website. Like it's like
she's a friend of the cast. She's not a full cast member though. But yeah,
but
she should be there.
She should be there. I mean, they're talking about her constantly.
Honestly, they should book her on Watch What Happens Live, because there's a lot for her to answer for or to clear the air on. Like, I don't know how you want to characterize that, but like, her name's been brought up at the Summer House reunion a lot on In the City, on social media. She's in the group texts that are featured on the Aftermath episode. Like, there's a lot to ask Katie DeLuca about. And like, whether, I don't know, I'm curious to hear more in depth from her about a lot of this stuff, you know?
Yeah, I agree. She would be, if she was smart about like wanting to be on reality TV, she would kind of get in the conversation a little bit more. Because there's a lot of, I mean, everyone's talking about Summer House right now, and via that In the City. So, but yeah, I'm having a good time. And then I saw that Amanda's father shows up next week on In the City, which is I've been waiting to hear what he has to say about these kids.
I am very curious to see what he has to say about all of this. Yeah. Obviously, we're not going to hear him talk about West, right? But like, yeah, it is interesting because her parents were such a big factor in the lead up to her wedding to Kyle, but they have been notably sort of downplayed in this whole situation. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, maybe they're sad about it too. I don't know. But like, because we did see that FaceTime with Kyle and his mom, which I thought was really compelling. I'd like to see her do that. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna get that next week. But woof.
Yeah. Wolf is right. Well, y'all, Summer House is over. We have a lot to look forward to for next season, and we got In the City to keep us held over for the next couple weeks with this drama. But Gibson, thank you so much for being here and chatting about everything with me today.
Of course, we could have gone for 10 hours. I mean, it's like, I
know
we could have gone the never-ending like topic right now. It's like it's all I think about, and I'm ready to not think about it at all times of the day. You know?
I agree. It's time to set this, out to sea. I'm ready to find some new things to gab about.
Totally. It's like I have interview with Lindsay and one more Summer House episode. I think hopefully that's kind of all I'm doing. Because I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not going to complain about getting a separate bonus episode, but like, damn. It's the
I know
never
it's
ending.
complicated too, because obviously all the creators out there, our content is being consumed a lot because it's all everyone's talking about. But in the same light, it's like, let's find something else. We gotta move on to something else to chat about. But it's
I also think
been
that,
a
like,
fabulous season of Summer House. Set
It
aside the
has.
drama, it would have already been a great season. So I'm happy that it happened.
I totally agree. And I think that, like, there's part of what I'm kind of exhausted by is also just like it definitely brought in a whole new swath of fans and viewers and listeners, which is amazing. But I do think that, like, some of that new group of people is expecting things so immediately and quickly, and they want everything. And, like, that's not how this works. A lot of this stuff in our world, like,
Right.
so I'm sort of looking forward to sort of a reset of, like, those expectations too, like both in terms of, like, putting out podcasts the next day right after the episode airs, but also in terms of, like, demanding the full unedited version of the reunion, and, like, they should give us, the 3-hour full conversation with Kyle and West, and, like, that's just not how this stuff works. We talked a lot about in this conversation about how incredible the editing is, and, like, that's what makes these shows ultimately, and, like everyone has to, like, just, like, exhale, and take
Guys, deep breaths.
like, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm ready for that. It's summer. Let's go outside,
Summers are supposed to be fun, so
They
after all.
are, and we're supposed to touch grass, and
We
that's
are.
what I'm trying to do.
Well, Gibson, tell everyone where they can catch your content and support you.
Yeah, my podcast, Gabbing with Gib, is wherever you get Dumpster Dive, and at least 2 episodes a week, sometimes more. And you can follow the show at Gabbing with Gib and me at Gibsonoma on Instagram, Threads, all the things. So, Tom, it's always a pleasure. I love chatting
Yes,
with
of
you.
course.
And I'll have
Of
to have you back on
course.
Gabbing very soon.
Yeah, whenever. I'm always down. And guys,
Whenever.
make sure to subscribe to this show on the platform that you don't already subscribe on. Okay, give a 5-star rating where you haven't yet done so.
That's a good angle.
And make sure to check out the YouTube. A lot is happening over there. I'm trying to hit 2K subscribers by the end of the month. So go get over there. And we'll be back next week. Or actually, no, we'll be back in a couple days with more Love Island conversations. I'll see y'all soon. Bye, Gibson.
Bye.